I do not like the F4 Phantom, which is why it pains me to say that the F-4EJ ADTW is the best premium to grind out the Japanese air tech tree. It's not like it has much competition though, it's the only rank 7 premium, but every country only has one rank 7 premium. The rank 6 premium, being the T2 early, wouldn't be that bad, but it's sitting at 9.7 battle rating with no flares. Hell, it was so bad that guys removed it about 6 months after they added it to the game. And the rank 5 premium is a 9.0 BR Saber that costs $50 worth of Golden Eagles. This is really disappointing too, because Japan also has the best Phantom in War Thunder, being the F-4EJ Kai. So why do I dislike the F-4EJ ADTW, but also recommend picking it up? I'm going to start by saying something nice about the plane. The ADTW has the best paint scheme on it out of all the Phantoms in the game. The Air Development Test Wing 60th Anniversary paint scheme with its black and gold colors with a bunch of little notes written around the aircraft is a vibe that you just don't see on many other aircraft. The Phantom also has amazing nose authority, so the gun on it is actually usable, unlike some other high-tier aircraft. And I'm saying that as someone who can't hit the side of a barn with most Jet's cannons. Additionally, it does carry enough bombs to fully destroy 2 bases, but I always just carry enough bombs to destroy 1 base, because of our first major flaw with this plane. Its top speed is not good. When you're just carrying missiles, the ADTW can get up to a respectable Mach 1.1 or so, but as soon as you tack on bombs, your top speed starts to drop fast. My typical loadout has 12 500-pound bombs on it, and that's enough to drop down the top speed to Mach 1.05. By going up to the full set of 24 500-pound bombs, you only lose an extra 20 miles per hour, but it takes so much longer to get up to top speed that it's not even worth it. It also makes doing a flyby on a base more difficult, because if you're carrying 24 bombs, it'd be a waste to dump them all at the first base, so you have to spam a bunch at the first base and hope that you have enough to hit a second base, and you're going subsonic to drop the bombs. Then you typically have someone on your tail by that point, and you might get why carry just enough bombs for 1 base now. You're probably wondering why I'm focusing so much on base bombing, but that brings us to just how much of a letdown the missiles are on the ADTW. While the plane gets access to a few different types of missiles, the 2 that everybody are going to use are the AIM-9Ps and AIM-7Es. Out of the 2, the Sparrows are the ones that perform worse for me, but not because the missiles are particularly bad. On the contrary, the radar in this plane is just horrible. You'd hope that at 11.0 you'd have a decent radar, but all you'll see with this thing is ground clutter. It's so bad that I typically just flip it into BVR mode so I can quickly turn it on and off. It's so bad that I can count on 1 finger the number of times that I've had a Sparrow connect while flying this plane. What else can I say? The APQ 120 radar is the reason why I hate most of the Phantoms in War Thunder. Moving on to talk about the AIM-9Ps, it doesn't get much better here. Stat-wise, they look okay with a max speed of Mach 2.5, 20 Gs of pull with a lock-on range of 3.4 miles and 40 seconds of guidance, but after the air drag nerf on missiles a few months ago, these things have just suffered. There's even been multiple times where I've been just over a mile away from someone and they miss. And don't get me started on how flare hungry these missiles are. Sometimes the enemy doesn't even need to drop out of afterburner to have flares confuse these missiles. Speaking of flares, the ADTWs just don't work most of the time. Never before have I been in a plane where I drop the throttle to 0, dump 15 to 20 flares, and still have a missile hit me. But that's happened multiple times in the ADTW. The worst part is that you immediately know when it's going to happen, because if the enemy missile isn't defeated by the first flare, it's typically going to ignore all the flares after that. With all those downsides, that's why I just use the plane as a bomb truck. And even worse, the ADTW is still the best grinder for the Japanese air tech tree. For rewards, you'll typically get around 10,000 Silver Lions per base and about 2,000 research. It's not great rewards, but it's the best you'll get out of a Japanese premium.